name's Matthew, and I post videos every Monday and Friday. So if you love the tingles, 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 then hit that subscribe button because you are in the right place. Now, before we get into today's video, I just wanted to let you know, if you didn't already know, that I have a true crime ASMR playlist on my channel. So all my true crime stuff is all in one place. So if you go onto my main channel and look under playlists, there will be a true crime one for you. So all the videos I've done, true crime related, are all in one place for you. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the case of Ingrid Lyne. So Ingrid Rounseville, I do apologise, I butchered that, was born on the 2nd of August 1975. Ingrid lived with her 3 young daughters in Renton, Washington, about a 32-minute drive from Seattle. Ingrid worked as a nurse at a Swedish medical centre in Seattle. She had just gone through a divorce from her husband named Phil Lyne, who was the father of her children. Ingrid and Phil shared custody with their daughters. Ingrid was described as a small woman with a big personality, and she loved her daughters and would have done anything for them. On April 8th, 2016, Ingrid went on a date with a man she met online. The two went to an opening game of the Seattle Mariners. It was also reported that Ingrid and her date also went to a bar after the game, where the date's sister worked. The next day, April 9th, Phil arrived at Ingrid's to drop off her daughters. He noticed that Ingrid's 2015 silver Toyota Highlander was missing. There was no answer when he knocked, and Ingrid wasn't answering her phone. Phil reached out to Ingrid's mum, who had a spare key, and let herself into the house. Inside, she found Ingrid's computer, purse, wallet and phone, but there was no sign of Ingrid or her car. Ingrid's mum contacted the police. Ingrid's mum also remembered that she and her daughter shared a Verizon account. Ingrid's mum accessed her phone records and did a Facebook search for the most recent phone number. The phone number was on a profile for a man called John Charlton, who was revealed to be the man that Ingrid had gone on a date with the previous night. Ingrid's mum also texted John asking if he had heard from Ingrid. She revealed to him that she has called 911. John asked her why, and she said that he did not go out on a date with Ingrid. Misread that. And said he did go on a date with Ingrid, but did not spend the night. Just 6 hours after Ingrid was reported missing, a man named Mike Navasio called the police. Mike lived about 10 miles away from Ingrid. He said he was taking his recycling bin out and saw what looked like human body parts in the white trash bags. Mike became very emotional when he was speaking in this episode. He said he saw a head and painted toenails, and he said he became ill. He said whoever had put these parts in these bags had wrapped them very precisely and professionally. The police and medical examiner arrived shortly after the call. The trash bags were opened, and inside was a head, part of a leg and arm. There wasn't any decomposition, so the police were able to identify the body parts as belonging to Ingrid. The police looked into Phil, but was immediately ruled out. The next, the police interviewed John Charlton, who was known to be the last person who'd seen Ingrid alive. John's online dating profile said that he wasn't looking for homeless, but he seemed like a regular guy. The police asked John for his address, but he said he was homeless. He seemed to be annoyed that he was there being asked about Ingrid. John said he and Ingrid met online about a month earlier. He was asked what they did when they hung out, and he replied, adult stuff, I guess. John said that they went to the Mariners game and had been drinking all night. John said they took the bus home, went to Ingrid's, and she dropped him off downtown. John said when he woke up he was lying on a sidewalk outside of a building. John admitted that he thinks they had sex, but he didn't know because he had blacked out. John was asked what his last interaction with Ingrid was, or what he remembered. John said that he had sent Ingrid a message that morning asking how she slept. John told the police that he didn't stay over the previous night because Ingrid didn't want to introduce him to her kids. The police asked why, and he said probably because I'm homeless. John admitted that he wasn't a normal person. The police also discovered that John wasn't sleeping on the streets. He would stay over at his ex-girlfriend's house. John said that he and his ex had a romantic relationship, but it was complicated. John eventually asked for a lawyer. The police left the room, but the cameras continued to record. The cameras caught John rolling up his sweatshirt that he'd used as a pillow to take a nap on the floor. God, this is bizarre. The police obtained a search warrant for Ingrid's home. Inside they found an almost empty box of garbage bags. The bags were similar to the garbage bags they found in the recycling bin. The police also found a pruning saw propped up in the bathroom. In the teeth of the saw there was blood tissue and bone. There was also blood found in the bathtub drain. On April 15th, 2016, more of Ingrid's body was found in a recycling receptacle. A man named Michael Mullen had received a phone call from his neighbour inside his recycling bin. A torso with a pierced belly button was found. Ingrid had a pierced belly button, so it was determined to be hers. On April 18th, a human leg was found at a Seattle recycling plant. The police went back to Ingrid's home. This time they removed the plumbing and found more blood in the now dismantled drain tap. A reagent called Blue Star was also used. There was evidence that the crime scene had been cleaned up. At first, Ingrid's death had been ruled as a homicidal violence, but the medical examiner had taken a closer look and found petchia in Ingrid's eyes. They also found hemorrhaging on Ingrid's neck. Ingrid had been strangled and dismembered in her own home. The toxicology report shows that Ingrid had no drugs in her system, but her BAC or BAL, blood alcohol level or content, was 0.074. A few days later, after Ingrid went missing, her car was found in Belltown, about a 6-minute drive from Seattle. The police lifted 3 fingerprints from the car under the handle of the driver's door. The fingerprints were a match for John Charlton. There was also the same white trash bags found in the car. The police interviewed John's ex-girlfriend. She said John was supposed to come to her house on Saturday morning, the day after his date with Ingrid. She said that John had told her that something came up, so he arrived later than planned. She noticed that John had a fat lip, which he claimed he had gotten when someone tried to rob him at the bar. When John was questioned by police, they also noticed that he had an abrasion on his head, chin, and had scratches on his chest and arms. He was arrested and charged with Ingrid's murder. John Charlton had a pretty extensive criminal history, expanding to 6 states. He had charges for grand theft, attempted robbery, battery, and assault for a third-degree larceny. Oh my god. Which was his own parents had filed a restraining order against him, which was later dropped. John's other exes came forward. One ex revealed that John had choked her during sex and that he kept squeezing until she couldn't breathe. Another ex said that John had confided in her that he had killed someone in Florida. The Seattle police couldn't verify his claims. Some of John's former friends revealed that John stayed with them and seemed to keep himself to himself. One friend said that John became a different person when he was drinking and doing drugs, and John had revealed to the police that he had a problem with alcohol. John's claim that he had blacked out didn't just match with the evidence from Ingrid's house. He had killed Ingrid, dismembered her, and cleaned up the house. The police also didn't know why John had left Ingrid in recycling bins. They thought it was either for shock value or because he wanted to be caught. Before John's trial, he shocked everyone when he decided to plead guilty on the 2nd of October 2017. John pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and theft of a motor car. On January 5th, 2018, John was sentenced to 27 years and 9 months in prison. This outraged many people because John could be released in his 60s. There was also no motive as to why he killed Ingrid. Not all of Ingrid's remains have been found. Ingrid's friend Nancy confronted John in court. She said Ingrid wasn't just murdered, her body was brutally violated and discarded like she was nothing. She fought to live and you forced her to die. You smothered her laugh, you crushed her smile. Oh my god. This is such a horrific case. To just think she was going on a normal date. And it makes no sense. In some ways, it feels to me like it was premeditative, because on his dating profile, he was saying, oh, he was just like a normal person, you know, not looking for anything serious, but I'm just a regular guy. But you're not a normal guy, and by the sounds of it, he has a drug and alcohol problem. Clearly, something's going wrong in here. And, you know, he didn't just kill Ingrid. Like, he dismembered her and then stuck her in different recycling bins. I mean, the whole thing is just fucked up. Am I right? I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to this. That's how like fucked up it is. He's gone out of his way to do this to just some innocent woman. There's no motive, and don't get me wrong, there is no right motive for this kind of situation, but it's just bizarre that, you know, this person has no hatred towards this person, but yet thought the right thing, well, not even the right thing, but he just thought, I mean, did he just think, I'm just going to kill you? I sure I want to work out. But it's such a horrific case, that poor woman. And now her 3 daughters are without a mum. All because, well, it's all because of nothing. Because of a guy who's completely lost his mind, but was sick enough to convince Ingrid that he was charming, and as a psychopath. Is it a psychopath or a sociopath? It's some sort of path. And I am surprised he didn't get life in prison for the extent of his crime. I kind of would have thought life would have been the more logical thing. But yeah, thank you so much for this suggestion. This was a really interesting case. I hope you found this video to be relaxing.